Hey everyone, long time no see. Welcome to my latest episode. In today's episode, we're going to explore the AI side feature. Basically, we're going to use LLM on top of a Power BI model, see what it can do. And most importantly, you need to have the workflow set up. When I say workflow set up, that you have to do certain preparation for us to use this AI capacity. For example, you need to have VS Code being installed, which is here. And also you need a Git to track your repository. So you will have this pen source control enabled for all your changes. And most importantly, you need to have some AI credit account and also an MCP on top of that. Work through each one of them. So first, you need to save your project as a project format like this into a repository locally. And then you need to globally install a Git to track the version. So I have this commit has been done in the past. And the last is we need MCP to be installed. So here we're going to search MCP, so Power BI MCP. So this MCP is specific for model design. It's not actually for doing your, the visual. We'll come to that in the next episode. In today's episode, we'll just see what MCP can do and how we can use MCP combined with the chat or LLM to help you to build up the model. So first, let's install that. I've installed that from the marketplace in VS Code. So you should be able to do the same. Once this is installed, this gives you a quick overview how this is going to work. So basically, you are the Power BI developer. Between you and the final model, there is a gap. This gap normally is the skill, the specialty that you provide. But now, since we have the project format, which is basically a text-based, and those text-based has been improved over time from previously JSON to nowadays TMDL, it's much easier for the AI to consume, understand, and also improve. That's why they introduced this intermediate layer to help bridging the gap between your Power BI developer and also the final model design decisions. So in between, this LLM is able to help you use natural language requests to customize your model, follow certain standard provided by Microsoft. And this MCP is kind of a protocol. It's a standard that Microsoft gave it instruction to the LLM to customize the model. So it won't break the model because it has detailed instruction when receive a certain user prompt, what it's going to respond and react to that prompt. So the model customization is smooth. And with this provided as a guardrail, it will help your natural language being consumed by the AI correctly. And during this process, you can just use chat-based experience to evaluate your model. So let's get started. First, you make sure you have this installed. I've done this. Next is just we're going to enable this chat. This chat, you can do certain things. Let's just say check if the Power BI model MCP is installed. So in order to use this chat experience, you need to have GitHub account. And basically this is GitHub Copilot. So you can use that free tier or use a paid version. Paid version I get because the minimum is about 10 USD per month. So this one, I'm just asking him to check if the MCP is installed. So it's actually installed. Once that, you can just fire a command, say connect to. Before you fire this command, make sure that you have this repository open, the project format open. So here we're going to specifically say connect to the semantic model under this repo. So what I'm saying is using the MCP that I have installed from the VS Code desktop and using that MCP to connect to this Power BI model. Now I'm just connect. Now it's thinking. So it's always prompt you the thinking process. So you can evaluate the conversation if it goes somewhere that you want it. Because sometimes it may get distracted and going sideways, which you don't want. Because the token is the key, right? You don't want the AI spend $1,000 without doing things that you want. So here is checking, accessible. Let's open that. And now it's connected. So, right. So the semantic model connection was created successfully from the repo's semantic model folder. So then you can ask, what can you do with this Power BI model MCP connected to this semantic model? One of the way that to use AI is not like say looking around the internet, because for me that's too general. Because AI have the ability to explain itself, same as MCP. MCP is just a bunch of text where you can find the instruction within the installment file. That's why it's very easy to ask the menu without looking at the internet. You can just ask what you can do with the MCP server being installed. I'm just asking straight away. I'm not looking at internet. It will be sourcing information from the installment file. I can also, while it's generate a file, I can direct you to the location. So first, let's get into the user, and this is my account and VS Code. So VS Code here is an extension. If we open this extension, you can find the MCP is under this folder, Analysis Service Power BI Modeling MCP. Once this has been done, you go into this folder, you can see there's a README. So if we open this, okay, let's expand this a little bit. So what happened is here, this is just a text file. The reason I can read it without it, because I'm enable this preview pane. You can enable that by default. It's very easy. So without opening the file, I'm able to read through it. So basically, it provides a general description about this MCP server and tell you, but also the AI LLM, what it can do. Here it's just natural language, do things A, B, C, D, and also show you how to get it started. For example, how to connect to the different situations. And yeah, so this is basic information. So when I ask you this information, is actually harvesting data from this README file. That's what I'm saying. So it can inspect model definition, metadata, view model properties, configurations, all sorts of things relating to customization towards to your model. And this, with the same connection, I can also help listing. So let's just say if it's generating information accurately. So now list the metadata of this semantic model. So while it's doing that, let's just open this report so we can validate if it's correct. So we just open from the File Explorer. We open with the Power BI desktop. Okay, it doesn't return the information I want. So I want to ask, I want to also check the numbers, the number of tables, measures, sorts of information. Okay. So this is the Power BI model that I opened. Well, it's responding my question. Let's go into the model view. So the model view will give you a glimpse of this model in a very quick way. For example, we have one calculation group, one calendar, one culture, 20 expression, 5 measures, 11 relationships, and 13 tables. So here, let's just compare that. So now it's retrieving the model statistics with my further instructions. So whenever it's unclear, you can just give a clear description about your request. So here is what I've done. I ask a specific information, so it's returned. So 13 tables matches, 5 matches, correct. This one is not in this place, but I guess it's sum up tally. This one is just another thing, say 13 partitions. 13 partition is each partition is one of the base table that you have in your query. Relation 11, correct. One culture, correct. Perspective. And then since like it's missing the calculation group, let's ask, what about the calendar and the calculation group? Info. Okay, let's just evaluate if it's correct. Now is get into the project file directly and check in those kind of additional information. You can see the behavior is reading the TMDL, which is under this folder, semantic model TMDL. You can see definition. Each of the thing that I'm having is holding itself within this TMDL, expressions, models. And this is what I'm saying, improved Power BI project format internally. TMDL is just indentation, and this is very great format for human and also for the AI. And tables, they're all saved as TMDL. This is a feature that you do need to enable from the Power BI desktop options. Going here and options and options. Under the option, there's some preview features that you should consider to enable that. Okay, the preview feature, going to this section, you have Power BI project. You always should be enabled that if you want smoother development lifecycle. And more importantly, you have this subcategory to tick. So store semantic model using TMDL. TMDL is an informed and also improved format of your semantic model. Once that ticked, you will save all your things from here. This is all your independent tables or base queries. They've been stored in a TMDL. TMDL is much easier to read and process for the AI. Now it looks like everything here is pretty good. Let's just say if it can do something actual for me, because except for those inspection purpose, I do want, like, say, customized model, right? If that's your ultimate goal, we should give it a try, right? At least we know if it's capable of that. Let's just say sense my current measures and propose me a new measure to provide more insight. So I'm not asking to create a measure out of blue, out of nowhere. I'm just saying assess my current workflow or settings. If there's any additional improvement that I can do, I don't always let it make change directly. I will ask you to propose something. It's more like a colleague that subordinate you manage rather than it gave you the direct changes. Because you won't be the last man to provide the supervision to the model customization. Rather than let it do the job itself, you better, like, say, assess what has been done by the AI. So now it's giving me a high value additions. It's like total cost. Let's just say, can you help me to create the total cost measure, follow the best practice, and then let me know if you will use the Microsoft Power BI modeling MCP while creating the measure, the new measure. Okay, so I ask two questions. First, help me create that one. Second, just confirm if you're going to use that MCP or not. Let's give it a try and hit enter. So now it's saying I'm preparing the measure in a model-friendly way and will confirm the exact approach I use for creation. So currently I'm using a free account of Copilot, GitHub Copilot. You should have a better experience with a paid version because my one is free, but I think free for per month, you have like 2,000 requests. Maybe I'm not quite sure, but definitely if free one is the blocker, just get a paid version. It should improve. Today's session is really a general application of these tools. You can use any other AI with MCP. We'll explore that later. But now let's just say if the AI can do something for me. So basically it finished the process and it just straight away like open this model TMDL for me. And let's just look at the message. So prepares everything and add in the measure definition and add it to the model. So what it does is create these new things. Let's check something. It's very easy to check over the source control, but also you can check from this file explorer. From here, you can just click this one, because this is the change that the AI has made, but not yet commit or stage. You can see this change is under the changes and hasn't been added to the stage changes. So it's kind of parked somewhere, but hasn't been tracked yet. So left is the old code file. Right-hand side is a new code file, which is after, before, and after. The after section has a green chunk. The green chunk means that it's addition, which means something has been added. It's not something has been updated. It's not something has been deleted. It's something has been added. It's totally new, fresh new, which align with our request, because our request is adding one actual measure, which is the total cost, right? And the measure name is total cost, what has been done over here. So it's give me the precision of this kind of logic. We're going to sum the X, which is line by line calculation, towards to the order underscore detail table. And basically for each row, I'm going to use in the quantity times the unit cost to get a row total. And then for the row total, I'm going to sum up the whole column and also provide some format string. I think this is done by, like say, providing follow the best practice. And also it says here, model friendly way. So which is aligned with our request. Another thing is here is just saying a currency culture, US, maybe this is debatable, but anyway, it's follow the rest of the measures. So I wouldn't be worried too much about that. And we can ask it to do a global, like say, sense checking. Later on, we make changes. So this one is done through the measures. Let's just see how it goes. It looks like okay. So we're going to close this with this one. Okay, since this has been changed, but looks like our measure table hasn't captured this one. There's a mechanism behind that. So you are using this natural language to interact your code base. So what is code base? Code base is actually just a bunch of folder and files in text format. You change the text. You're not changing something in your Power BI desktop. There's a delay. There's a purpose delay between the Power BI desktop session instance and also your VS code base. So you're looking at the same thing, but also differently. Why is that? While you open the Power BI desktop, it's using everything the code at that moment to re-render your Power BI model or visual, whatever. So it's a one-time rendering. So it won't read the information newly updated through the code. It's kind of encapsulated this moment in the Power BI desktop. That's why what do we need to do? We need to close this one and reopen this Power BI desktop to see if we can see the new measures. Okay, let's just open this file. So this is updated. So it's under the measure table. I have a new total cost. Let's going back to this to check if the new measure is in place. Now our Power BI desktop is opened. Of the measure table, you can see this is the total cost. Total cost is being defined in this way. If we do a comparison between this code through the interface, which is a GUI, user graphic interface, and also this code base, they're actually the same. So this is carry the foundation of the logic of this measure with actual information, like say format string. How to check format string? Let's go back to here. This is the measure, and we have total cost. And going down, you have this formatting. So for this format string, we're using a currency, and the 2 decimal places is English United States currency. So this is what does it mean? And yes, it's pretty spot on. So this model can simply help you to update or adding new measures. Let's do something different. Let's close this instance. Before we close, let's just say this measure is always like say the in this business format, saying you have the actual cap in the front of each letters, right? Let's just say if we can update measures into a consistent format, but maybe not ideal. I'm just saying exploring the feasibility of this model, MCP. I want to update all this into lowercase with underscore in between, so which is a snake, right? So let's just close this one. Do not save. Now, help me. Okay, let's just first do something. Since this change is okay, I'm okay with this new one. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to add this to the stage. But before you add it to stage, you always need to make sure that you are under a different branch. So, right. So what we do is for this change, let's just undo that. Let's check out as a different branch, new branch. Let's just say dev. Okay, under the dev, I'm going to park this change. And I'm going to make a change saying explore Power BI modeling MCP capacity to customize the model. Now I've committed that. So this is under my name. Okay, all good. So under the dev, I'm okay with that. Now let's make another change. Now back to the chat experience. I want MCP, or I say the LLM, to help me to customize this measure and update all the measure in the cells in the format that I provided. So now help me update all measures. Name into the following format. Let's just provide one example. Total quantity sold to total quantity. So here I didn't explicitly say what I want to do. I just provided a human readable format. So every human, when they read this, they should be knowing that currently in my model, my measure is written in such a way, cap for each of the beginning of the letter, and then I want them to be underscore like snake, right? So let's just see if this can cope with that. Okay, now it's saying updating the measure names in the semantic model definition to the requested lowercase with underscore format. So it's sensing my request in a very precise manner, which is great. And most importantly, when you're using LLM against your code base and this IDE is enabled, you are able to see the change line by line, and you are able to keep it or undo it. So for each of the lines is actually updating the information in a very precise way, which is, I like that. Think about if you're going to do this kind of update, naming convention, human level. First, you're going to like say busy with your updating because you may have measures like 200, 300, 100. It's going to take a lot of time. And that's a lot of time. Doesn't count for like say error that will be made in the long run. But here with AI, you can just like a supervisor, review what has been changed, because the rest of code here, you don't need to worry because it hasn't been changed. That's why enable the text space to track the changes line by line is the key or milestone about your Power BI development. So save the thing in the Power BI project. Then we start talking about the LLM or AI application on the Power BI model. And this is pretty good. You can see for each of the line, I'm just review 6 times, I'm done my job. So this is great, but I don't want next change. So let's just undo that, close this one. Just to wrap it up. In today's session, we have worked through the setup of this is just the starting point of your AI application of Power BI customization. There are more to come. So today we are just to do a quick showcase or demonstration about using Power BI MCP, model MCP server to customize your model. This customize means that you can add new measures, you can do your naming conventions. If you want to read more, you should open this one through the GitHub to read more information about that. Or you can just go back to this folder where you install this MCP. It has a 4 article to describe how and why you should use this MCP for your Power BI development workflow. So that's today's session. Hope you enjoy. See you guys in the next one.